Good evening to all the good viewers of this program who are with us this week watching, whether it's for the very first time or if you've been here watching our programs, enjoying our programs on a weekly basis. And I would like to say good afternoon or good evening, I should say, to all the people that are going to be watching our programs later on and those who are going to be typing in the chat, sharing what their thoughts are, and so on and so forth. Allow me to, as usual, share the link of this program with you in Telegram so that you can have access to it. And that way I can also go ahead and do the same thing. Click through Telegram into YouTube and see the program with you. And if there's any problems, fix them for you. Allow me to share with you the link of all of the news that I'm going to cover with you this week so that you will have it. As usual, as you know, in our programs, I always talk about stuff that is the utmost important. I don't just share news with you just for the sake of sharing news, like the news media does, where they think that by selling you a bunch of news, fake or real, that they're going to get a profit out of it. Here, the reasoning why we cover the news with you is so that we can enlighten you, so that you can, in turn, enlighten other people in order for the people to be saved, for the people to wake up, and for people to know what's going on. By saved, I don't mean that this program will save them, rather that they will save themselves. Because when you know what's going on, then you can prepare yourself for what's about to happen. And if you can prepare yourself for what's about to happen, then at least you have a fighting chance. But if you don't know what's going on, you cannot prepare yourself. If you can't prepare yourself, you have no fighting chance. Hence, this program will save you by giving you the foundations of what you need to know so that you can save yourself. If you remember a month or two ago, I told you all that slowly but surely they're going to come and arrest all of these people who are protesting, especially the ones that are protesting for Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Republic of Iran, and the rest. And that slowly is happening. Right now, they're in the process of what I call testing the waters. How can we arrest these people? How long will it take? How fast can we do it? How well can we do this in partnership with other agencies throughout the country? They're taking a look at that. In order to do that, they had to start from somewhere and lead to another. If you remember, for those who are also on my Telegram page, if you have Telegram, I urge you that you should go ahead and become a member of our page. See, by becoming a member of our page, you will see what you need to see that most will not tell you. I posted it from Mayor Adams of New York about 2 months ago or so, where he himself said in front of his police that that's it. We are arresting protesters in the street. We will not allow people to come and protest on behalf of Hamas against the Jews. The Jews have built this city. This is a city that respects the Jews, and we are going to start. Now, as you know, for the last week and a half, it's been big business about how at Columbia University, they kicked out the Israeli Jewish American citizen professors by not letting them be able to get in through the gates. Well, that was also, in one part, you could say, oh, that's so bad of Columbia to do. But from another point of view, Columbia University is also trying to protect those professors by not allowing them to get themselves in the way of harm. How do we know this? Because at Columbia University, over 106 students got arrested. Now, these students that got arrested, they're all supporting terrorist Hamas, and they were protesting against Israel for Hamas. How do we know that they're supporting Hamas? Well, if you see, they wear that chefia that the Hamas loves to wear, which is white and black in color. Islamic Republic of Iran made this chefia famous from 45 years ago until today. They're the biggest supporter of this chefia, and by a person putting that on, you are giving the image that you are a supporter of that organization that has this around their people's neck. And that organization is none other than the Islamic Republic of Iran and its military push wing behind the terrorist organization known as Hamas. Hence, Islamic Republic of Iran and Hamas, they're in bed together. They're in the same boat. And when these protesters put that on, they are saying to the West that we are another wing of this terrorist organization. We support it, we stand by it, and we will do whatever they say over here when the time comes. Hence, that gives the West the reasoning to arrest terrorists it finds on its own soil. So therefore, arrests started happening. Among those who are arrested is Representative Ilhan Omar's daughter. Her name is Isra Hirsi. Isra Hirsi got arrested in Columbia, the university. You know, you call it college over here in the States. The rest of the world calls it a university. Yep, she got arrested. This means that Ilhan Omar had to stop everything, stop representing Minneapolis and Indianapolis, and she had to run to Columbia University, join the protesters there, demand that her daughter be released. And then she followed the protesters who ran away from Columbia University to go to New York, because that's where the next batch of protests was supposed to happen. When they went down to New York at the university to protest, she talked to Captain Jocelyn Kane, executive officer of the Legal Bureau, and she told her how she's displeased with the arrest of her daughter and this shouldn't happen and so on and so forth and blah, blah, blah. During the protests that happened in New York, many of you have already seen it. Anyone who wants to see it, they can go and get the video. It's live everywhere. Just go into like Twitter and you know, in the search part, just type something about interview with the university student in New York regarding the protests, anti-Israeli protests, and you'll see the girl with the nose ring. She was being asked questions, and she says, yes, we came down from Columbia University to support the students of New York University, NYU, and we are here because they're doing a lot of great work. And she was asked, what is the great work? She goes, I don't know. And she turns to her friend and says, do you know the great work they're doing? I don't know the great work they're doing. Do you know? And her blonde friend says to her, well, I came because of you. I mean, you're more knowledgeable in this than I am. I'm just following you. You know, you're like, you can't ask me. I'm following you. In other words, it was the blind leading the blind into a world of terrorism. The problem is the parents. You see, the parents of these kids, who they happen themselves to be mostly Democrats, these Democrat parents, they're not raising their children properly. I mean, you want the best for your child, so you send your child to go to university. But then you don't understand that your child is being brainwashed to follow a bunch of terrorists at the university and to be standing up proclaiming that they want to commit acts of terrorism in the country that they live in. And you see, the problem with the parents is, you, the parents, not you, the one that watches this program, because you guys are educated, but you, the parents of these kids, you see, you who pretend to be democratic and you want to follow democracy because you think democratic means democracy, and you don't understand that the democratic movement you follow is a liberal movement, and you don't understand that that liberal movement is a movement that is based on socialism, and that socialism is based on communism, and that communism is hijacked and used for the benefit of Russia. You don't understand this. You don't understand that communism is used to use your mind in a morality manner to break it down so that your morality is broken down. It's a psychological warfare on your mind. You don't understand that part. And it's being used on your children step by step by step by step throughout their whole entire life of learning, from university all the way down to when they were in grade 1, 2, and 3. This was being used on them. You don't understand that part. And you don't correct yourself. Therefore, you can't correct your child. And now your child is going to have a big problem on their hands. Your children are arrested now. That means they're going to have records that will follow them for the rest of their life. That means they can go to these elite universities and come out with degrees from these elite universities. But the problem they will see is that they will not find those great, good jobs that come from going to elite university. Number one, most of those great, good jobs happen to be in firms run by great, good Jews who are not going to be happy about hiring somebody who wants to kill them. Number two, because of the records that your kids will have, they will be looked at as felons, which means a lot of the good companies don't want them. Whose fault is that? It's your fault for not correcting your children. It's your fault for not teaching them patriotism. Now, if you want to teach them patriotism, I suggest you guys become strong Republicans, because that is the only group left right now that actually teaches patriotic ideology to kids. You see, most of you, the parents, you have a big problem on your hand. Your problem is you're not educated about the world as a whole. You haven't lived outside of the United States. You don't see what life is outside of the United States. And you think that what's going on here in this country, you think that that is bad, but you don't know bad. You haven't been hit with the bad stick. If you were hit with a bad stick, you would know United States is the greatest country on this planet. That is why everyone wants to be United States. That is why a lot of people have envy for United States. Other so-called Western countries, they also want to be United States. They may not admit it to you in your face, but they all want to be United States. None of them want to be what they are. They want your spot. They love it when Americans fight amongst themselves. They love it when they see America weak, because it somehow makes them feel like they are getting stronger. But most of them are dumb idiots who don't understand that when America gets weaker, they also get weaker. It is because of the support of the United States that most of these Western countries can claim to be what they are. And the reasoning behind that is because the United States used to be the police of the world. The United States was the country that the world can count on, that when the shit hits the fan, America would come there and stop it. Literally. With America no longer being the police of the world, that means that countries that want to misbehave can do whatever they want. When they ruin the mind process of your children, make them go crazy to the point that they will support terrorist movements, that means that in the future, they want to turn your country, United States of America, into one of those shitholes that everyone runs out of. You want an example of a shithole? Look at the Islamic Republic of Iran. They're destroying historical forests. They're carving out mountains only to sell it to other terrorist countries like UAE so they can rebuild for themselves new islands, man-made islands in the Persian Gulf, so that they can later on say we have a bigger presence in the Persian Gulf, and therefore we can change the name of Persian Gulf to an Arab. They are destroying the fresh water rivers in Iran and turning them into salt water, which means they kill off the fish, and by killing off the fish, they will kill off the birds. By killing off the birds, they will kill off other animals that are indigenous to that land. They are committing a genocide on the Iranian people for the last 45 years. They are an anti-women organization that wants to see women die. They're an organization that puts 3-year-old children into prison, keeps them in political prison until they become 15 for boys and 13 for girls, at which point they can then go on to legally hang them for a crime that they say that the child committed at the age of 3. And they do this so that they can get around the curve of saying, we don't hang children. But yes, you do. You just hold them in prison until they become a little older, where it'll be easier for you to hang them. And then they say that that 13-year-old child is an adult and that 15-year-old boy is an adult. This is the same organization that has destroyed the buying power of the Iranian rial and toman to the point where Iranian money is worthless today. They're the same organization that makes sure that Iranian farming gets a great hit by underselling its products, practically giving it away for free to Russia, and then at a very discounted price to Arab countries like Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, Saudi, and the rest. They're the same organization that shuts down the water supply to Iranians and sends it over to Arab countries so they can create grass in the desert in Kuwait and UAE and water it, while the Iranians in themselves in Iran don't have drinking water. That's right. It's the country where most Iranians now have to look into the dumpster to look for food because they can afford to buy the food in their own stores, where most cities have 60% and above unemployment rate, where women are attacked, given concussions that lead to them having deaths because there's a severe injury to their heads when they're grabbed and slammed onto the ground head first. Why? Because few strands of hair was shown outside their hijab. The same country where little boys, that's right, little boys between the ages of 8 and 12 are raped by men pretending that they're going to be teaching them sports in school, specifically soccer, European football. Yep, that same shithole country is what they plan on eventually turning America into. And you, the Democrats, you're going with it hook, line, and sinker. You are supporting this. You want to know how you're supporting this? You pick the wrong people and you put them in positions of power so that they can make up laws that you have to abide by. You do this predominantly in your democratic states, which are overrun by the idiots that you've put in place. And then you run with your tail tucked between your legs to Republican states. And then instead of learning your mistake, you want to do the same over here by voting for the same idiots that you put into power in democratic states over here in Republican states. As an example, Ilhan Omar's daughter got arrested. Now she's running around. She followed her all the way to New York so that she can complain there too. This is Ilhan Omar's daughter. Right here, this one right here. You see the blacks, not the blacks as in black people, but the blacks as in the black organizations like BLM and the woke ideology that follows it. They tell you that if a white person or a non-black person decides to do something that black people do, then they're stealing their culture. So if you rap, you steal their culture. If they come up with a word and you use that word, you steal their culture. But here, Ilhan Omar has red hair. Red hair is not something you see on a black person. Red hair is what you see on someone from Ireland. Red hair is something you see on some Arabs who have mixed blood in them that came from European descent from way back in the day. Ilhan Omar's daughter is stealing Irish culture by putting this red hair. If that's how we're going to go with it, she's trying to say that she doesn't want to be black. Is that what we're going to get out of this? And this white woman is wearing the chafia of the Israelis that we were talking about. And that black woman over there is wearing the chafia of the Hamas, just like we were talking about. And they cover their faces because they're scared. They're terrified. They know that those good jobs that are held by companies owned by good Jews will not hire them. So they have cover their face, They don't have the cojones to stand up and admit who they are and what they want. Well, Ilhan Omar's daughter got arrested, as you can see in this picture right here. That is how she gets arrested. This is going on in every university throughout the country. Hundreds and hundreds of your kids are arrested. That's shameful for you, the parents. You send your kids to go become terrorists. This is Ilhan Omar and her daughter in front of Columbia University when she first got accepted to go to university. You can see them sitting here. Ilhan Omar is laughing like a donkey because that's how she does it. She covers her own hair, but her daughter's hair is not covered. If her daughter was in Iran right now, dressed like this, hair shown like this, it would mean a death sentence on her. Yet, Ilhan Omar supports Islamic Republic of Iran and says they're doing good, which means her daughter is doing bad. She should cover her hair and her red hair too. Apparently, she likes to have different color hairs. You know, maybe I guess on Tuesday she'll wear black. On Monday she'll wear red. Probably on Wednesday she'll wear blonde. She'll go yellow. You know, God, we have to have different hair. You know, every day you can put on a different set of wigs on your head and steal somebody else's culture. I mean, this hair is not a hair that belongs to black people. They take this from India. They shave the girls in India and they sell their hair. You're stealing Indian culture now. Not Native American. This is India from India, like Asia. You're stealing Asian culture, Indian culture, Southeast Asian culture. But that's a whole different topic. The next link I have for you is from NBC News. You know, NBC protects the Democrats. You know, it's one of those channels that teaches you to stay Democrat. You know, they like to bash you in the head with the ideology of the Democrats. They try to downplay this. They say only in 40 colleges, meaning universities throughout Canada and United States, there were protests. Wrong. Almost every single city has its own universities. And this is happening throughout all Democrat cities where Democrats are in power. Hundreds in each have been arrested. That means you've got hundreds and hundreds of universities. Multiply that by hundreds of arrests at each one. That means you've got thousands upon thousands of kids that are arrested. But according to these guys, they say only 40 of them. And they name for you some big ones like UCLA, Northwestern, Georgia, Washington, Harvard, Brown, UT, Austin, Michigan, and MIT. In South California, 93 were arrested. That canceled their ceremony for graduation, which was supposed to happen May 10th. It got tossed out the window. That's right. Stuff like that is happening. Demonstrators waving Israeli flags, meaning waving it on the ground. You know, they say as if this is an Israeli demonstration, you know. I mean, they look at how they dress. Huh? You see how they dress? Which one of them has a flag of Israel? The only flag of Israel you find amongst them is the one that they're going to walk all over. They're all wearing Hamas-related uniform. And then over here, MSNBC, you know, hee-haw, the idiots, they want to tell you something. NBC and all of them, they're all the same group. They tell you the same stupid things. The next news I have for you is from yahoo.com, where they say Israel has killed over half of the commanders of Hezbollah, the terrorist organization in Lebanon. Okay. Since October the 8th, the day after the massacre that the terrorist group Hamas did in Israel, the day after, October the 8th, Lebanon's Hezbollah started shooting missiles into Israel. Since then till now, they have killed over half of their whole entire commanders. And these commanders are needed because, you know, they have to command the regular terrorists to do the terrorist activities. Without them there to command, the regular terrorists will resort back to just going back and sitting on their buttocks and picking their nose and waiting for a day when Iran can give them the green light so that their commanders can give them the green light so that they can do something. 40 targets were hit in several minutes on Wednesday by jet fighters and missiles from Israel. One of those is a village called Aita al-Shab, where over 12 different homes were attacked. These homes were all places where Hezbollah of Lebanon likes to keep their weapon supply of missiles and other militaristic type weapons near the border. And it got all demolished. Israel was able to have great success destroying those different military sites of Lebanon's Hezbollah. And that means that by doing that, Iran will have to take other steps of coming forward, trying to protect Lebanon's Hezbollah. You see, here's the big problem. Let me explain something to you that your news agencies will never explain to you. You see, when it comes to Iran, Iran is a country, and it has Iranian people living in the country. However, Iran, the country, right now, as we speak, has been hijacked by 350 Arab families who mix amongst themselves when they want to have relations and the reproducing of the next generation, because they don't have marriages. So in order to reproduce the next generation, they mix with themselves, okay? They don't mix with the people. They don't mix with the Iranians. They mix with themselves. They keep a close-knit family type group amongst themselves, and they hold all the might. They've changed the name of Iran for their own regime into the Islamic Republic of Iran. Majority of Iranians in Iran do not support Islamic Republic of Iran. Some Iranians do work for Islamic Republic of Iran, and because they get paid, they show that they support Islamic Republic of Iran. But their numbers are very low. Islamic Republic of Iran wants to say that their numbers are about 40%. You'll hear people like David Wood say that. But they're wrong. Islamic Republic of Iran lies a lot. And because they're the ones in position of power, there is no one else in Iran to dispute what they say. They can say whatever they feel like. Tomorrow, if they come and tell you 100% of Iranians support them, it's another lie. Just like Saddam Hussein used to say 100% of the people of Iraq supported him in his elections, and that turned out to be a lie. In Iran, the people don't support the Islamic Republic of Iran. Rather, they're against it. So, Islamic Republic of Iran does not have a backing by the people of Iran. And the ones that work for it, that want to really support it, their numbers are less than 10%. So, Islamic Republic of Iran has no weight amongst the people of Iran in Iran. In order to make itself look good and big, it needs at least an international type support to make itself more legitimate, to make it look like they're a real government for a real people. In order to do this, they try to get people of countries that are close by who they can say they support the Islamic Republic of Iran, so that Islamic Republic of Iran can then come out at the United Nations and do little interviews with more fake news agencies like CNN and make it look like they are a representative of a country. In order to do that, they create terrorist organizations in different countries. And by creating those organizations, they pay them. And because they paid them, those organizations in return turn around and say, we support what Islamic Republic of Iran is saying and doing, hence making themselves look legitimate. In order to do that, they created Hezbollah of Lebanon. They gave them a big funding of money and a large supply of military weapons. They continuously do this every single year because they want to say, look, we have a presence in other countries, people support us, and at the same time, they can use those terrorist organizations to attack a Jewish state because Islam says so, hoping that by attacking a Jewish state, that will cause a chain reaction in other Islamic countries where the people of those countries will tend to want to back the Islamic Republic of Iran's leadership so that they can say we can have a bigger presence amongst 54 Muslim countries. Hence, the other countries see us as a legitimate organization, leadership, government, and therefore we are what we say we are. You see, it's a chain reaction. Then they can use that to put pressure on your news agencies so that your news agencies can put pressure on you. That is the name of the game. This is the foundation of the plan that they go forward with. In order to stop that, what you should do is you should re-educate your kids not to follow this crap. You should support Israel and its war, because the war that Israel is having is a war that will save your kids. You see, when Israel destroys Hamas and then has to go and destroy Hezbollah of Lebanon, it forces Iran into either letting go of these organizations, which destroys their plans and destroys the psychological warfare that they have on your kids and your universities and your cities and your country, or Islamic Republic of Iran will have no choice but to enter the battlefield against Israel. Now, if it enters a battlefield against Israel, most Iranians don't want to go to war with Israel, and rather they support Israel. So even if they're forced to go to battle, they're going to desert that army, which means Islamic Republic of Iran will not have much of an army to send forward. Rather, Israel's IDF will attack and demolish whatever Islamic Republic of Iran wants to send, and probably come and demolish them in Iran as well. However, that would set off a chain reaction. That will take us even one more step forward towards World War III. Islamic Republic of Iran would love to have World War III, even though they know that it would bring their demise. Because most of them think that because they are also double agents for England and Russia, that those countries will take them in and that they will survive from being bombed on, and it will be the people of Iran that will get bombed on, which they don't care about. After all, they are doing a genocide for 45 years. Who do they care who kills the Iranians? Them or someone else? The Iranian will die anyway, so they don't have to care about it. They will run away with their own little lives and leave the Iranians to feel the brunt of the punishment that they are supposed to get. Hence, they don't care about that. But what they do know is, if a World War III does happen, they hope that this time Russia and China's influence will mean that Russia and China can carve more land for themselves which is what they want from their spies anyway. And the land that they want carved is not the Western land. No, Russia is not interested about going and invading and taking over England or France. Rather, it just wants all the land that is around it from all sides, especially southern side, where it can come down towards Iran. That's what they want. Same with China. China wants the land that's around it. China doesn't want the Los Angeles, California. Rather, it wants the land of the islands that are around it, other countries that are islands that are around it, and some other Asian countries that are to the south of it. That's what China wants. China wants a domination of the body of water between Asia and the Asian island countries. That's what China wants. Because there's oil there and they need it. There's farming there, they need it. There's metal there, they need it. There's other types of metals other than regular metal that they need and want and can have access to. There's chemicals that they can get. There's gas. There's lots of stuff they want. There is the pathway for the shipping industry that they can tax off of. There is a lot that's stored. So if you want to stop all of that stuff, if you want a World War III not to take place, you need to re-educate yourself and your children. Continuing down, MSNBC gives us the next news. Anthony Blinken, ran down to Israel to meet with both Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Isaac Herzog. He came with an idea that maybe we can put a ceasefire, a timeout, Don't kill the last remaining Hamas. Don't attack Rafah, the city. We'll let them live so that Islamic Republic can make them strong again, make them powerful again, make them great terrorists again, so they can come back and attack you in the future. So we need a solve, like peace treaty, make it, everything's good. But to do that, we will entice the Israelis with, let me work on this so that Hamas can give back the remaining hostages and call it even, okay? That was 2 days ago. Yesterday, on the other hand, after doing all this, who did all this? This guy right here, Anthony Blinken. The guy who, every single person who represents a country, when they go to another country and they want to hold talks, they bring with them a big flag of their country. Like you see here, I have the flag of Iran, the old flag of Iran, the actual flag of Iran, not the Islamic flag of the invaders of Iran. Every single representative of a country goes and brings the flags of their country and they put it behind them. When Anthony Blinken goes to Arab countries, they give him a tiny little flag, a tiny one, right? And then they bring for themselves a big one so that they can tell their viewers, look, we are big and this guy's a nobody. Now he goes in front of their microphones to talk to the Arab world. As you can see here, all the Arab agencies, they have their microphones. Al Jazeera is right there. And instead of giving this guy an American flag, they give him a white flag in the background. Like this guy, in other words, they're telling their viewers, this guy is a clown. We're dealing with a clown here. Nothing this guy says matters anyway. He's below our shoe. He's beneath it. That's how they're treating him. So his biggest viewer, since he's a clown, his biggest viewer is Elmo's cousin. You know, Elmo is red. Elmo's cousin is blue, you know. That's how you know which one's who. Elmo's cousin is even watching him shocked. Let me look at his mouth, so open. His eyes looking like they're going to pop out of his head, you know. And he's turning red. You can tell because his nose is all red now, you know. He's looking at Anthony Blinken like, are you mad? What kind of clown are you? You can't even be a clown at this point because clowns are shocked of clown. And you see Anthony Blinken, whenever he wants to take a picture somewhere, you'll see he'll do his iconic serious face. What is the serious face of Anthony Blinken? Look, look. He pushes his eyes together like he wants to, you know, squint at you, like, and then he'll try to wrinkle his forehead a bit, but he can't because he forgot he put a lot of Botox in there, you know. So, but he'll try to wrinkle his forehead for you, and then he'll press his lips together and push them forward, like he's getting ready to smooch someone's hiney. Yeah, like that, you know. And then he'll push his shoulders and neck forward, like as if he's turning into Igor the Hunchback from the movies, like that. And then he'll do these hand gestures, like in the old Chinese movies, martial art movies from way back in the day, like 40 years ago, when the screen would show, and then 5 minutes later you hear the guys talking. You see, like over here in this picture with the news agencies, he's making a fist. Like he wants to tell you he's strong, you know, like he's going to do something. He's making a fist for you, you know. Over here in this picture, he decided he's going to do like he's going to choke someone, you know. He's like, you know, he's got his hands like, he likes to do that kind of stuff because after all, he's a clown. I mean, what else can a clown do for you? Here you have him in a picture with Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu also understood that, you know, when the Arabs are treating him like this, why should I give him a flag? I mean, he took him in front of the map of the world and he put him in Africa, and he put himself, Benjamin Netanyahu, in the Middle East. So that, in other words, what he's showing you in the background is me, Benjamin Netanyahu, I represent the Middle East, and you, with your ideology, you can go represent Africa, because we don't think you're from America, and you certainly don't have a say in the Middle East. Hence, you can go and stay on the other side of Africa and think about maybe the people of Africa, but we don't want you to have any say in the people of the Middle East. Okay? That's why you can see he has the whole of the Middle East behind himself, okay? Because Iran ends where the Middle East ends is at Iran. Iran is Central Asia going forward. So the whole of Middle East, as you can see, is Benjamin Netanyahu. And this Anthony Blinken is not even inside Africa. Rather, you can see the ocean right there, the Atlantic Ocean. He's been pushed. He was pushed into the Atlantic Ocean, that you can stand on the other side of Africa and maybe think about the people of Africa, okay? You go think of that continent and leave the people of the Middle East alone, okay? that's what the guy's doing. And Anthony Blinken, as usual, the clown, can't pick up on any of these signals that he's been given. He doesn't get that they put a white flag here for him to make him look like a clown. He didn't get that. He didn't understand this either. He doesn't understand the people of Asia. Yet this is the guy that they sent. I mean, what can you do? His boss is Joe Biden. I mean, when you have a boss named Joe Biden, what do you expect from the people that work under it? The next link for you here is from Reuters. You know Reuters, the #1 news backer of Hamas. They came out and they said what MSNBC has told you about this whole idea of truce and this and that. Well, it's all hogwash. Because the day after, they came and said on April the 30th, Benjamin Netanyahu came up and said, whether the Hamas organization of terror made out of terrorists gives us back all the hostages or not, Rafah will still get invaded. The Hamas terrorists will be arrested or killed and eliminated from this city. Benjamin Netanyahu continued to say, our goals and objectives of a free Palestine from Hamas is not going to be pushed to the side by a few plans that Anthony Blinken thinks he has in his mind that he can never succeed on. You see, Rafah, regardless of whether or not a ceasefire and hostage releases deal is reached, the operation will carry out, Israel will carry out an operation against Hamas in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. No matter what happens, Israel has to do what Israel has to do. Israel is not doing something out of the ordinary that you can think of in the sense of, well, why are they doing this? No, they told you from October the 7th. Now we are in a state of war. We've been attacked. We got to once and for all take out the enemy that continuously, year after year after year, attacks us. Who's that enemy? In the south, it's Hamas. Hence, we have to take them out. They're attacking us. We can attack them back. They're going to continue this until they eliminate Hamas. But in the north, from October the 8th, they've had a lot of missiles coming into northern Israel. So that means once they finish Hamas and there's no more Hamas, then Israel has to. It has no other way. They've already told everyone in northern Israel to leave their homes out of safety. They have to then go to the north and eliminate Hezbollah to the point where Hezbollah can retreat, become weakened military-wise, so they wouldn't have a threat on Israel, and give a complete ceasefire. In order to do that, they would have to attack southern Lebanon to eliminate Hezbollah. Now, they've already taken out more than half of their commanders, and they will continue that after Hezbollah is over. This means Islamic Republic of Iran has two choices. Either say goodbye, bye-bye to terrorist Hamas and Lebanon's Hezbollah, or it must enter the scene and try to fight. You saw them throw 313 missiles and drones and nothing happened. In the next stage, the ball is in the side of Islamic Republic of Iran. Let's see which one they will choose. To say goodbye to their terrorist organizations they've been working for the last 45 years, or if they will continue to move forward towards World War III. If you want my opinion, everybody is waiting to see who gets elected as the next American president. Everyone's waiting to see if Donald J. Trump will come back and become a president for another 4 years, or if it's going to be Joe Biden. If Joe Biden stays as president, he will give the green light for World War III. You will see Taiwan get invaded. You will see Russia try to invade more countries near its border. You will see Iran jump into this war with Israel. But if Donald J. Trump comes along, you will see Russia go back and hide behind the rock it was hiding for 4 years. You will see China turn into a little mouse like it was before. And you will see this whole entire terrorist organizations of Hamas and Hezbollah of Lebanon and the rest submit and have real peace treaties for another 4 years. And the Islamic Republic of Iran will hide again under some stones. You will see all that happen. So again, it comes down to you, the American people. If you want to educate yourself and you want to free yourself, and by freeing yourself, help free the world, go with Donald J. Trump. But if you want to make yourself suffer, if you want to lose the power that you have, if you want China and Russia to become your superiors and your overlords, where you can walk behind them like dogs on the ground with a chain around your neck, on your hands and knees, while they tell you to lick their boots like BLM told you to do. Support your Biden and let's go to World War III, where bombs will fall everywhere. Terrorist organizations will attack you from inside your cities, and you will feel the wrath of your poor decisions. The choice is yours, America. Do the wise thing and bring in Donald J. Trump, or do a horrific error in your poor judgment and bring the wrath of God down on your heads. Choice is yours. If you like our program, don't forget, subscribe to our program, share our programs, leave a like button, click on that, leave some good messages for us underneath our programs. And I leave you in the hands of Jesus. We'll return shortly with another program in Persian, followed by another program in English. God bless all of you. Until our next program. Bye for now.